28 days is enough time to make a measurable and visible difference in your muscle mass, if you understand the science. Most people training for months see minimal results because they've misunderstood 2 or 3 key variables. Research on muscle hypertrophy has become remarkably precise. Specific volumes, specific protein thresholds, specific recovery windows, specific training frequencies. When those variables align, the rate of muscle gain accelerates dramatically. This video covers the protocol that puts all of them together. Brad Schoenfeld, widely considered the leading research authority on muscle hypertrophy, published findings in 2017 showing a clear dose-response relationship between weekly training volume and muscle growth. There is a threshold of approximately 10 sets per muscle group per week below which hypertrophy is significantly blunted, his team found. Most people training 3 to 4 sets per muscle group per week are operating well below this threshold, which explains why results feel slow regardless of how hard each individual. Hypertrophy research has advanced dramatically over the past decade, with precision studies using muscle biopsies, MRI measurements, and isotopic protein synthesis tracking allowing researchers to quantify exactly how much muscle different training protocols produce. In this video, we are going to see what the research identifies as the most critical variables for maximizing muscle gain in a 28-day window: training volume, frequency, mechanical tension, protein timing, and recovery optimization. The most common reason people fail to gain muscle despite consistent training: they've optimized the wrong variables. They focus on how hard they train in each session while ignoring total weekly volume per muscle group. Research consistently shows that total sets per week per muscle group is the strongest predictor of hypertrophy, not intensity per session. You can train extremely hard in 3 sets and grow slower than someone doing 8 lighter sets spread across the week for that. The second most common mistake: inadequate protein intake or poorly timed protein. Research is clear that muscle protein synthesis, the process of building new muscle, requires both an adequate daily protein target and adequate protein at each meal to hit the leucine threshold. Most people eat very little protein at breakfast, moderate at lunch, and heavily load dinner. The third critical error: insufficient training frequency per muscle group. Research consistently shows that training a muscle group twice per week produces significantly more hypertrophy than once per week, even with the same total volume, because the muscle protein synthesis spike from each session lasts only 24 to 48 hours. After that, the anabolic window closes and no new muscle is being built until the next stimulus. Damas and colleagues at the University of São Paulo studied the time course of muscle protein synthesis following resistance training sessions. Their findings showed that the acute MPS spike post-workout returns to baseline within 24 to 48 hours in trained individuals, meaning if you don't stimulate the muscle again within that window, you've missed a growth opportunity. This is the mechanistic basis for why training frequency matters so much for maximizing 28-day results: 2 to 3 stimuli per week. Research from Stokes and colleagues established the protein requirements for optimal hypertrophy across multiple training contexts. The synthesis of evidence places optimal intake at 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight daily during an active muscle building phase. For a 180-pound person, that's 130 to 180 grams of protein per day. Importantly, research shows that going above 2.2 grams per kilogram provides no additional muscle building benefit. The additional protein is simply oxidized for energy rather than incorporated into. Schoenfeld's volume research found a dose-response relationship across 5 volume brackets. Groups doing fewer than 5 sets per muscle group per week showed minimal hypertrophy. 5 to 9 sets showed moderate growth. 10 to 15 sets showed strong growth. 15 to 20 sets showed the highest growth. Beyond 20 sets per muscle group per week, growth plateaued and recovery costs rose without additional benefit. 3 mechanistic drivers of hypertrophy that the researchers confirmed: mechanical tension, the force applied to muscle fibers during resistance exercise, maximized by moving through a full range of motion under load. Metabolic stress, the buildup of metabolites like lactate during training, associated with cellular swelling and anabolic hormone release. And muscle damage, microscopic disruption of muscle fiber architecture that initiates the repair process leading to growth. The 28-day maximum muscle protocol structures training as follows: train each major muscle group 3 times per week: Monday, Wednesday, Friday for upper body, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday for lower body, or a full body approach 3 days. Each session targets 5 to 7 sets per major muscle group using compound movements as the primary exercises. Repetition range alternates: heavy sessions at 4 to 6 representatives for mechanical tension, medium at 8 to 12 for balanced stimulus, and light at 15. Sleep and recovery are the often neglected variables that determine whether training produces muscle. Research shows that 70 to 80% of daily growth hormone is secreted during slow-wave sleep. Growth hormone is the primary anabolic hormone promoting muscle protein synthesis and fat oxidation overnight. Sleep deprivation of even 1 hour reduces growth hormone pulse amplitude by up to 70%. Week 1 priority actions. Calculate your protein target. Body weight in pounds times 0.7 to 1 gram equals your daily protein goal in grams. Divide this into 4 meals. Design your training week around 3 full body sessions, choosing 1 compound lift per major muscle group. Start where you can maintain perfect form, not maximum load. Track everything this week: sets, representatives, weights, and protein grams. The data is what lets you apply progressive overload next week. If you're sore and can't train the same muscle again in 48 hours, then your volume was too high or load too heavy in the first session. Reduce sets per muscle by 1 and increase gradually. If you're not seeing scale changes but strength is increasing, then muscle is being built. Early recomposition shifts body composition before weight changes. 28 days is enough time to make a real, measurable difference, if the variables are right. Research places the key levers clearly: 10 to 20 sets per muscle group per week, training each muscle 2 to 3 times weekly, 1.6 to 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram per day distributed evenly across 4 meals, and 7 to 9 hours of sleep to maximize growth hormone and testosterone. Most people are missing at least 2 of these. Building muscle is science, not guesswork, and MedBrief today gives you the science. If this shifted how you think about your training and nutrition, there's significantly more ahead. Keep watching. If today's video helped clarify something, share it with someone who needs it. Most people never see research summarize this clearly. That's exactly what this channel is here to do.